from learning it with your head, applying it with your hands, and knowing it by heart, from thinking into doing and into being. Today, I am going to explain how do we manifest using Qigong, the ancient wisdom of the Chinese culture, using quantum physics, the most up-to-date science research, epigenetics, neuroscience, biology, to answer the question, how do we manifest? How do we actually manifest? Many people get so lost. I met over thousands of people, men and women, over the years. And they all say that I have been on this path for 20, 30 years. I want to manifest. I want to manifest. And many of them are still struggling. So yes, the question is, how do we manifest? And yes, the answer is, we should get up as if our prayers are already answered. The problem is that our senses fool us into separation. The person say, I want to be healed. I want to be healthy. I want to be wealthy. And they imagine it. And then when they come back and it's not there, and right away, when they see that it is not there, the thought of their future create the emotions of lack or separation. The thought of the language of the brain. Thought is the language of the brain, and the feeling is the language of the body. Now, you have a mind and body are in opposition. If you think about something like appreciation or thankfulness or great gratitude, gratitude is when you are receiving something, or when you just receive something, or when something just happened to you in a moment, or something just happened to you that you enjoy, or you're surprised about it, or you're pleasing. You feel this emotional gratitude. So gratitude becomes the emotional signature that it has already happened. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So now, when the person combine a clear intentions of the future, and they open their heart, and they feel the emotions of the future, their body is very subjective. It is the unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between the actual experience and actual experience in their life that is creating the emotions, or the emotions that they are fabricating by thought alone. In that moment, their body is believing it is in the future, in the present moment. And the stronger the emotions they feel, the more outer they feel inside of them. The more they pay attention to the picture in their mind. And we could say then that they are beginning to remember their future. And biologically, it's the same as remembering your past. So if you keep practicing opening your heart, and you keep combining it with a clear intention, then the thought and the feeling changes your state of being, which means then if you keep doing that over time, you will feel like your future has already happened. Now, what is the significance of that? Well, it is that if you feel like your future has already happened, you stop looking for it. You are no longer waiting and wondering, when is this going to happen? Or how is it going to happen? You feel like it's already happened. So now you take your foot off the gas pedal, and you are no longer trying to predict, trying to control or expect how it is going to happen. You just relax. That's why I always teach my group that you always say, I am so happy and grateful and I am relaxed, knowing that you're relaxed and you're connected emotionally to your future. Now, it is also true that the stronger the emotion you feel for someone, for some betrayal, for some shock, some trauma, the more outer you feel inside of you, the more you narrow focus on the outer environment. And the brain take a snapshot, and that is called a memory. So the stronger the emotion, the more the brain embosses the imaginary neurologically in the brain. So then the person thinks neurologically within the circuitry of the experience, and they feel within the boundary of those emotions. So then when we could say that the person biologically is literally in the past, you cannot create a new future if your state of being is still in the past. Unfortunately, people reaffirm their identity this way. They wake up in the morning and they say, let me think about my problems. And those problems are the memory of the past experience that are etched in their brain. So they think about the person, the place, the object, the experience. We could say that if they believe that their thoughts have something to do with their destiny, they're thinking in the past. And every one of those problems has an emotion attached to it. So now they feel unhappy. And now they feel fear. Now they feel unworthy. And it's a conditioning process. To conditioning, all you need is an image in your head and an emotions. And all you need is a stimuli or response. So every time the person remember their past, and as they remember the past, the image with the emotion is literally subconsciously conditioning the brain and the body in the past. And so if they're living in the familiar past, guess what? They're going to predict the next future. They're going to want to be able to predict their future because that is what they know. So that also means there's only one place where the unknown exists, and that is the present moment. So now we know a formula, and we are teaching people how to get into the generous present moment and take an act of awareness. And most people would rather turn on their TV, or they would get on their cell phone or Facebook or TikTok or or YouTube or whatever. And in this is a moment of awareness when you notice it. There's a saying that when you're inside the jar, you cannot see the label. So we have this huge frontal lobe that give us self-awareness. So then the insight never changes anything. Knowing something doesn't change anything, but knowing something is the first step to change your life. So you could have the insight that you're addicted to fear. You're addicted to competition. You're addicted to struggle. But that really means is that we are addressing reality matter to matter. And what we are at a point of awareness, a point of consciousness, and we are putting all our attention on another point of consciousness, a future outcome. You and me, we want a better future. And the only way we know how to get there in the past is when we are matter trying to change matter. It's that we force, we control, we predict, we fight for it. Because that's how you and I are learned. And when you do that, you are in survival mode. So then we have to move our body through the space and take the times to achieve what we want. So we think if we rush that, we are actually going to get there faster. But more and more of the rushing creates more of the addictions of those emotions. Because the adrenaline that is released is actually an arousal. So a person is using the conditions, the problem, the situations in their life to reaffirm their addictions to some emotion. That means we become addicted to the life we don't even like. So that's why change is so hard. So why don't we offer another alternative? When you begin to create from the field, the quantum field, instead of matter to matter, the only way you can do is you have to learn how to take all of your attentions off your body and become nobody. Take all of your attentions of all the people in your life that give you so much of your attention and energy to because you have so much emotions associated with them, and get beyond all the people in your life. Go from somebody to nobody. Now, if you have worked your whole life being a somebody, or if you have been working your whole life thinking you are somebody, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder, because that's your identity and that's what you're associated with. And it is a long time of conditioning. And if that was easy, everybody will be doing it. I'm not saying that it's easy, but it is possible when you learn this formula. So then you have to get beyond all the things in your life, your cell phone, your computer, your car, and literally go from something to nothing. And if you take all of your attention off the place that you work, the place that you live, the place that you need to be, the place that you're sitting, and you go from somewhere to nowhere, and you're gonna stop thinking about the predictable future and the familiar past, and go right into the present moment now, and from sometime to no time. And if you do that properly, you become pure consciousness. You're connected to the field. And that's how you enter the field. Now, there is a research done on this, and it's called getting beyond the self. Now, once you are pure consciousness and you enter the quantum field, you're taking all of your attention off this three-dimensional world. Now, where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So you have taken all of your attention off everything, every material that you know. There's only one place that you're going to win up, and that is the immaterial realm, called the quantum field, an invisible field of energy that unify and connect everything. Everything. So now when you're creating from the field, you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotions, and you feel connected. The suggestions of an alternate way to create is that when there is a vibrational match between your energy and some future reality, you actually no longer have to go anywhere to get it. You actuate the vortex, and you will collapse space and time and start drawing the experience to you now. It is a lot more fun when you know how to do that, because the experience is unknown. You cannot predict what is going to happen or how it is going to happen, because if you can predict, it is the known. So then you have to lay down everything you use your whole life to get what you want for something greater to occur. I know now that we are going against generations of conditioning and a lifetime of habitual believing that we are trapped in this material world. And yet I can say to you without a doubt, once you understand this formula, and once you know how to create that kind of brain and heart coherence, your heart and your brain start communicating now, the side effect of the change in biology, neurologically, chemically, hormonally, genetically, and scientists say that this day, and science say that this is actually happening. They even have data to measure, to prove it. Data show gene regulation changes in 4 days. More brain coherence, more heart coherence. Your brain is working better. You are trusting your heart more, and your heart is open. There's a different chemical that is released into your body. And oxycodone suppress survival center, reset the baseline of a person's trauma or shock. Your immune system actually goes up. You lengthen your telomere. So you are changing the future of your body. You are extending your life. There is evidence in research to show it had happened. Hundreds and hundreds of testimonials of people that not only heal their body, but create a pretty profound magical thing in their life. So you have evidence in the scientific world. You have evidence in the practical world. And evidence is the loudest voice right now. If that person can do it, so could I. And that drops the old conditioning, the old belief right away. Once you know that, you witness that, you experience that, you cannot go back to being the same person after you witness the transformation. It is. So it's just like infection. It's spread among the community. Create disease all of a sudden, health and wellness can be as infectious as a disease. And wow, guess what? All of a sudden, it's a new consciousness. It's the new way of living. So we don't have to rely on something outside of us. We have the power. And this is the formula to manifest with Qigong. And we found the formula. And if you are interested and want to learn more, I highly recommend you to connect with me or drop in the comment below and let me know what you think. I'll see you in my next video.